And yet you don't have to wait for that. You actually could say, I want to be defined by a vision of the future every day. That's what I want. But for most people, it takes that crisis or that something where all of a sudden they can see themselves for the first time. Nothing's making that feeling go away, and they don't feel like themselves. And they can see how they thought. They can notice how they were acting. They can feel how they've spent their whole life feeling, and they objectify their subjective self. They become conscious of their unconscious self. So for most people, then it takes that
Yeah.
person or that circumstance or that condition
Yeah.
to finally make up their mind to change.
For me,
And the last part about that is for the person who's not changing, they're not choosing. They're just comfortable in the known. They're just comfortable being in the known. And the unknown is when you're at your best because there's uncertainty, there's unpredictability,
mm,
there's chaos. That's the energy that you have to organize to create with. And if you react and you respond and you do all of that, you're caught up in the chaos and you're thinking, acting, feeling equal to the environment. Your personal reality is creating your personality now. Your environment is controlling the way you think and feel. And as a program, we got to be able to turn that around.
the thing that's helped me, maybe you have a better explanation for what could help trigger the energy and momentum for change when life is good. The thing that's worked for me really well is really having a vision of a future that I don't have yet, that I dream and desire in a big way, that is a fulfilling vision of the future for me. That's because life is usually pretty good for me, unless it's not. And then it's either tragedy, then it's like, okay, I need to completely go to therapy every single day and start transforming and do whatever it takes to finally heal. Or it's like, God, there's something like in my heart that I haven't lived yet in terms of a vision that's greater for myself, that I feel like I'm supposed to be living, that's somewhere that I want to draw in. That is the only time besides tragedy or trauma where I'm like, I will be as disciplined as possible. I'll overcome all negative thoughts. I'll do whatever it takes because it's so big that it demands a new way of being. It demands new behaviors, disciplines, thoughts, emotions. It demands it. In order, it's so big, I have to become different. Like getting to this venue is so much bigger than what I've done before. We had to do things differently. I can't keep doing the comfortable same things. All these different things. I had to become someone different. So I don't know if there's anything else besides that that you would recommend or that you're aware of, but for me, it's having that dream or vision so much bigger that it demands me to become different.
Yeah, I think the highest form of motivation is mission motivation. It's purpose motivation, it's duty motivation. When you have a vision that is big, like in some way selfless, to change people, to change the world, to do something, that is the highest form of motivation because it's the most selfless form, and we're wired to be selfless. And then the next form of motivation is called personal conviction
Mm.
motivation. Like, I'm going to do this because I said I'm going to do it. And a lot of people who are motivated have that kind of motivation, but people who have kind of that mission and duty motivation will naturally have personal conviction.
Yes.
Then there's that next form of motivation called ethics motivation or morality based motivation. And that's based on good and bad, right and wrong, heaven and hell. You know the story. It's ethics and morality. And it's not the highest form of motivation, but it does motivate people. But people who have a very high purpose and or have personal conviction will naturally have a common sense of ethics and morality. They'll just kind of fall right in line.